Welcome back to another episode of Offbeat Adventures. We're not standing on a grade today, but we will be very shortly. So we're here in the city of Thunder Bay, in the southern part of the city, which used to be called Fort William. We are just across the street from the main Canadian Pacific Railway building here in Thunder Bay. I guess Canadian Pacific, Kansas City now. The reason why we're here is because obviously this was the main Canadian Pacific station here in Thunder Bay for many, many years. We no longer have train service here in the city. But it ties in with today's hike. So it is a very, very crisp March morning. This is the earliest we've ever been out on a hike. Wait for the traffic to pass here. So the reason for us being here at the station is because for many years this station was not only used by the Canadian Pacific Railway, but also used by another line originally known as the Grand Trunk Pacific, the Grand Trunk Pacific Lake Superior Division. This station was not the terminus of the Grand Trunk originally. It started up sometime after, all this traffic here, sometime after 1911. And it was used from roughly 1911 until 1921. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash you up some timetables here. Now, one of the troubles with this rail line is that it changed its name so often. It was originally the Grand Trunk Pacific Lake Superior Division, and then it became the Canadian Government Railways Fort William Subdivision, and then it became the Canadian National Railways Fort William Subdivision, and then it became the Canadian National Railways Lake Superior Subdivision, and that's until it was not used anymore in 1921. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make our way south here. Let's just hold up here for a second. All right, here we go. So, as I was saying, this is the earliest I've ever been out on a railway hike. It is a kind of a crispy morning. There's a bit of a wind blowing this way, so it's a little bit cooler going this way than when I came up to the station. So, the Grand Trunk did not have any trackage in this area. Basically, they shared trackage with Canadian Pacific, and so the station, when they were using it, was known as a Union station. So I'm going to zip you ahead here until we get to where the Grand Trunk trackage starts. Okay, So we've arrived here. I'm going to jump across the road here, not try to get run over in the process. All right, so right now we're at the corner of Syndicate Avenue and Empire. So Empire Avenue runs that way. Little sort of historical document about, or historical note about Syndicate Avenue. Syndicate Avenue ties in with some of the railway history of this area. It's actually named after the group of individuals who eventually started the Canadian Pacific Railway. Originally they were known as the Syndicate. So that group included people like Donald A. Smith, who was president of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Okay, so if we come over here, you'll actually see it looks like there's kind of this area coming off the Canadian Pacific tracks here. There is a big chunk of concrete there that looks like it used to have a pole in it. And I don't know if there's something up ahead over there as well. We've had a very unusual winter. See, there's a big piece of pipe here. We've had a very unusual, it's a chair. We've had a very unusual winter and we didn't get a ton of snow. And so that's why we've been able to get out so early. So anyway, so the Grand Trunk tracks used to come in and connect right here with the Canadian Pacific tracks. Again, it looks like there's something right about here somewhere, which would make sense, kind of looping into Empire Avenue here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold up here for a second and then we'll continue moving forward. All right, so we've made our way across Syndicate Avenue, so we're now on Empire. So the railway would have come across in this area here, and so then it would have traveled, and what we're going to do is we're going to follow this straight down Empire Avenue until eventually it links in with the other piece of track at a place called Empire Junction. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to basically show you where we are, kind of give you a rough idea of the mileage. For some, we've probably covered about half a mile or so, and so there was a couple street railway crossings in this area. So I'll show you a timetable and then I'll show you a couple maps so you can kind of see where we are. Okay, so before we get started, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our usual history lesson. We're going to talk about the history of this rail line. One of the things that I had to do with this line, because the name changed so many times, is I had to make up this nice little card here to basically describe all the name changes, because it's impossible to remember. Now, one of the things you'll notice here about Empire Avenue is that it's a particularly wide street for kind of a bit of a secondary road here in the city. You can see that the yards have nice sort of big front yards, and even with the cars parked on either side of the road, you can still see there's plenty of room in the middle of the road, and that's pretty indicative of that there was something crossing through here. So again, our history lesson. So this line was constructed by the Grand Trunk Company between 1905 and 1908. It was going to be part of a joint partnership between the Grand Trunk Company and the Canadian government to build an additional transcontinental railway across Canada. The Grand Trunk Company was one of the oldest railway companies in Canada, got their start back in 1852. So the partnership basically involved Grand Trunk building the western part of the line, everything from Winnipeg to the Pacific coast, under the name Grand Trunk Pacific, and the Canadian government would build everything from Winnipeg east under the name National Transcontinental. Now, one of the reasons why Grand Trunk wasn't really keen on building the eastern part, because it was the most difficult part and obviously the most expensive part. Now, what's interesting is this particular line, even though it was a Grand Trunk line, basically it was it connected to the National Transcontinental Railway, so kind of a really sort of unusual situation. So it was actually one of the first pieces of this line to be of the Grand Trunk NTR route to be built. So again, construction that started in 1905 and was completed in 1908. For that time, the line was known as the Lake Superior Division of the Grand Trunk Pacific. Now, unfortunately, what happened was there was an issue with Grand Trunk taking over the eastern part of the line, the NTR route. And so in 1915, the Canadian government took over that and basically consolidated it into a new company called the Canadian Government Railways. And so this line became known as the Canadian Government Railways Fort William Subdivision. And it continued as such until 1919, when the Canadian government amalgamated the Canadian Government Railways and Canadian Northern into Canadian National Railways. So in 1919, this became, I have to refer to this sheet, it became the Canadian National Railways Fort William Subdivision. And later that year, in October, it became the Canadian National Railways Lake Superior Subdivision. And continued like that for a few years. Again, this section was used, I believe, up until at least the station was used on this line until 1921. I don't know when they pull out the rails. One of those maps shows you that basically the rails are still here in 1925. We're crossing Sprague Street here. And so in 1923, the line became the Canadian National Railways Graham Subdivision. But a year later, it was split into two lines, the Crest and the Graham Subdivision. And then a year later, after that, in 1925, it was split into three, the Crest, Wraith, and Quorn subdivisions. And then in 1926, the Crest Subdivision was abandoned following some consolidation of lines. And this line became the Canadian National Railways Wraith and Quorn subdivisions, and basically used trackage of the Kashabawi subdivision to Conmee Junction and then continued on. And then 1931, it became the Canadian National Railways Graham subdivision once again. And then 1960, the name of Canadian National changed to Canadian National Railway, singular. And then the line continued operating until 1994. Okay, so again, you can kind of see the lay of the land here. Again, you can see this very, very wide street. We're coming up to another little side street here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pause, and we're going to reload here in a minute.